Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, your host for this incredible journey around the world. I am joined by my co-explorer, as always, Amy Long.
Hi.
This week we got a really fun show for you. We are talking about the city by the bay, San Francisco, one of the great American cities out there, and a city that you and I, Amy, have visited pretty often over the years.
Yeah, we've been there quite a few times, and I feel like every time we go, there's something a little bit new and a little bit different, and it's one of those cities that's always changing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those wonderful places that every time you go, it's almost like a new experience, but it does have a lot of those old familiars. And when I say old for the U.S., a lot of this stuff goes back, to the founding of the country. It was one of those type of cities, a great port that, early in the United States history saw a lot of immigrants pass through, especially from Asia and those kind of places that helped build these United States and everything. So it's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of culture, a lot of blending of peoples, great food.
Yeah, it does.
And a lot of fun things to go and see and do. And, some of the things that we are going to mention, if you've been to San Francisco before, you probably already know about, but we're going to try to enlighten you on a few things that maybe if you're going back for the second time or third time or something like that, some new areas to explore and things like that. But, first, let's kind of set the scene of what this city is. If you've never been to San Francisco, this is one of these cities. It was founded in 1776. A lot of stuff happening in the United States in 1776.
True, very
and
true.
I didn't know, honestly, that San Francisco was founded. It was a mission originally, like a lot of cities that were being explored, a lot of parts of the country at that time. It was set up by a mission, so that was the official founding. But from there, it stayed kind of a small, you probably wouldn't even recognize it. It was a small port, basically, for most of that time period, up until something that we know a great deal about, but the California Gold Rush.
Right.
The California Gold Rush started in 1848. People finding gold everywhere. I probably would have been one of those people who would have packed up.
Yes, you would have. You would have had us in a wagon, pulled by an ox, going across the country.
Covered wagon, you in a bonnet, the kids dying of dysentery.
It's Oregon Trail.
There you go. It's Oregon Trail. Really, San Francisco was one of those cities that started being affected by this. And by 1849, the population went from about 1,000 people officially in that area to over 25,000.
Oh, wow.
In a year's time.
In a year, yeah.
And that's where the popular phrase, if you follow American football, the National Football League, if you ever wondered where the San Francisco 49ers came from, as in 1849.
I didn't
when
know
a lot of those people, the Gold Rush folks, started coming over. They were called 49ers.
You just taught me something.
Look at that. Not only are we fun, we are educational. Bring your children. Tell them to only listen to the first half of the show. But it's one of those things, honestly, people were so enamored with gold back then that ships would pull up full of passengers and, whether it was immigrants and sailors from different parts of the world or whatever, they would literally just leave the ships in the harbor. And there are pictures from that time. The harbor was just so full of abandoned ships that the people there started turning them into saloons.
Really?
They started sinking them on purpose just to make room for other ships. They started turning them to, I don't know what the equivalent of a bed and breakfast is, but they started turning them into hotels, floating hotels and everything. And it's pretty crazy that now in the, Ibarra Buena Cove, I believe, that they eventually filled up to make more land in that area. Mm. Anytime they dig down to do any work, they oftentimes find the remains of ships in that cove area because so many ships were sunk back then. Just a little bit of history.
That's interesting. I really didn't know any of that.
And, quickly with the gold rush and everything else, it was amazingly fast how quick California was granted statehood into the United States. By 1850, it was already the 31st state. There was some senator somewhere that just rubber stamped that.
Yeah. So a year after these 25,000 people showed up, they made it a state.
There you go. If anything our government was good at back then, it was just taking land from people and trying to find resources, right? So, and a lot of things came out of that, like Levi Strauss, who opened his first dry goods company, Levi's jeans. Domingo Ghirardelli started manufacturing chocolate there, and his name is still synonymous with a big area of San Francisco. And of course, places like Wells Fargo was established in 1852 in San Francisco. So it's a very important city in our history, and it's still a whole lot of fun to go walk by there. I don't think there's any city like it anywhere else, really.
It's one of those interesting places. We say it changes a lot, but there's parts of it that feel like they haven't changed at all. And every time we go, there's a few places we always stop and check out. Like, everybody goes to Fisherman's Wharf. You go see the sea lions down there. You go and you see the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance, whether you can see it or not with all the fog, which, it's one of those places you never know if you're going to have a view or not. It's also one of those places you never know if your flight's going to be delayed coming in or going because of the fog.
In fact, not too long ago, you just flew back in from San Francisco.
Yeah.
And you had, it was one of those things like going and coming,
delays.
Or going there and coming back. You had delays.
Delays both time, not only because of the fog, but also because the San Francisco International Airport is under construction and has been for as long as I can remember.
Oh, yeah.
So they were limited on runways for the planes to take off and land. So everything was delayed. So just be aware if you're flying into SFO Airport, probably going to have a delay.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime soon.
SFO Airport's been under construction since it first opened. I think it just remains.
They just never stopped. They never stopped building it.
It is time itself. It is Nosferatu. It will live forever as far as construction at SFO. But the parts they have redone is a beautiful, area. That's a different story. But there are some things that you should know. We mentioned the fog. We mentioned the kind of delays in getting around, at least into the airport. You just kind of have to plan for that. And the weather that seemingly can change and turn on a dime. And it's not... I think in most areas, people say, well, wait around 5 minutes and the weather will change or something. But in San Francisco, it is the absolute truth.
I think my best advice for San Francisco is to dress in layers because it may be cold and a bit damp in the morning, and it may get sunny and hot by lunchtime, and then cold and damp again a few hours later. So be able to add and take away as needed. But what you and I found out a couple of years ago, we went in June thinking it's summer in the U.S., it's going to be warm. No, it was chilly. We actually had to go buy jackets while we were there because it was so cold. And we went to a baseball game and bought a very expensive San Francisco Giants blanket because it was so cold and the stadium was outside because we just were not expecting it to be cold in June.
Yeah. We were actually down at Fisherman's Wharf, just kind of killing time. And I bought a very ill-fitting
I like the jacket,
Giants. Though. The jacket itself was fun. If I was, any different person, I guess, that would smaller shoulders and less of a beer belly, I would absolutely look wonderful in this jacket. But I still have pictures of...
I love those pictures of you. But yeah, I will say the jacket was like 2 sizes too small for tragic. You.
It was tragic. Now I'm thinking about it. I know where those pictures are.
I don't even know what happened to the jacket I bought or the expensive blanket. Somewhere in the house.
Man, that blanket is the reason that our kids can't go to college. But no, we're looking at San Francisco. We're going to give you some more know before you go tips. And we're going to start naming off some wonderful places you should visit when you visit San Francisco. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hi. Is everything wonderful today?
Today is wonderful. What a great day. I'm so glad you asked.
Wonderful is your word of the day.
It is. It is my word of the day, and I hope you're out there doing wonderful as well. We're coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, the beautiful Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. We are talking about San Francisco, wonderful California, the Golden State, and trying to give you some tips and helpful hints, some know before you go. We mentioned expect delays. Just go ahead and expect delays if you're flying into SFO. They're doing a lot of construction. They've been doing construction for a while. San Francisco traffic can be a bit of a wonderful time.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I wanted to. And then I remembered
this is a family show. Yes. So I was, as you said, I was just in San Francisco, and I did have to drive from SFO into downtown San Francisco near where the Giants play. I went to a new area down there called Mission Rock. It's offices, it's shops, it's restaurants, it's even like living condos, things like that. And the traffic on a Monday afternoon was pretty much at a standstill for most of the way from the airport to downtown San Francisco.
Man.
An hour later, when I was coming back the opposite way, traffic was great. But so I think it's one of those things you never know. If you're just like me and you unfortunately time your trip, you may end up just sitting on the highway for a while.
You know, one of the great parts about San Francisco is I've always really had an easy time with the public transportation.
Right.
The bus system with the trains and the trolleys and everything else kind of works better than a lot of other places.
Yeah.
And we've been to some places where the public transport is a nightmare, but San Francisco isn't necessarily one of them. Now, they have sometimes there are things that go on that's outside of anyone's control or whatever. But, you know, getting a bus ticket, getting a pass on I think it's called the Muni.
Yeah, the Muni.
The Muni bus system is pretty good about being on time. And there are direct trains that'll take you across the city that don't do any other stops, express ones. And then there are ones that are, catered more to where local people live and making stops every once in a while. But
I remember it being very easy to understand. Some bus systems are super complicated. This one was pretty simple.
Man, you could throw it into like a program like Apple Maps or Google Maps or something like that. And it's pretty darn accurate about the timing. And, sometimes they're early. Right. I learned that out when I was walking the city one time when we went out there. I was like, a lot of these buses were early, like a couple, 2-3 minutes early. And I guess all the bus drivers had somewhere to be. Maybe it was a playoff game. I don't know what was going on. But they were like, get on, get off, and throwing people off the bus. No, they were really good about it. But it is a pretty reliable system. So once you get out of traffic, and they do have Uber and they do have taxis and those kind of things, so you can get around if that's your preferred method. But once you're in the city, try to get you a Muni pass. They do have unlimited rides for 2 or 3 days, week-long passes, I believe. And it's really simple. I think you can pay with Apple Pay or something.
Yeah.
We've done that a lot.
Remember, we actually we were in San Jose, which is about an hour south. Yeah. And we took the Caltrain up to San Francisco. And so the Caltrain is more a regional train taking you from city to city, which is not something that the U.S. has a whole lot of. Yeah. So it is a pretty easy way to get around, I would say, California, certain parts of California. If you're somewhat local and don't want to have to deal with the airport, you can always take the Caltrain in. And
it's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
too. It's pretty affordable to get around. So good public transport. Have you ridden a trolley yet?
I have not.
A cable car.
A cable car. Every time I go, because there's that one that's down by Market, I think it's Market Street. Mm-hmm. The line is always so long, and I don't want to wait in line.
I got to. The last time I was in San Francisco, I got to finally, I bit the bullet and went to and got a ticket for the cable car and everything. I am mixed on the feeling. Did you
hang off of it while it was going?
I did not get to hang off of the side. I wanted to stand in the back, and the guy told me you couldn't. You had to go sit down.
You had to sit in a bench?
Yeah, you had to sit inside. So if you don't get to sit on one of the out-facing seats, they do have seats that are kind of outside and you get to face out to the street. I don't know if it's really worth it, because then you're just staring at other people and the windows, and I'm not bashing San Francisco for this, it's not their fault, but the windows are just kind of dirty.
Yeah.
So you don't really see a whole lot if you're on the inside. I did get a couple of pictures, and it was fun to say that now I've ridden a cable car, but I'm not sure that if it's a really busy day, like if you're there specifically for that, do it. Just wait in line, do it, because it's one of those once in a lifetime things. But if you don't really have the time and you got screaming kids and whatever, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it.
For me, I just enjoyed seeing a cable car. I'd never seen one in person before. So just standing on the street and watching it come by was fun for me.
We mentioned Ghirardelli chocolate. There is a Ghirardelli manufacturing plant, and like now it's like a store, and it's a huge favorite stop I know of. Trent Keenan, who owns Diamondback Land Surveying, who supports our show, he goes there for his birthday every single year. They love San Francisco like that. We've been down there. I've never gone into the
I've been into the Ghirardelli store. Yeah, I mean most people have heard of Ghirardelli chocolate. You've seen it in just regular stores, but this is one of the places where you can see them making chocolate. There's counters where you can, it's almost sort of like a truffle shop too, where you can pick out the different chocolates that you want, and they make boxes for you. And then just so much Ghirardelli chocolate to choose from. I mean, all the different flavors. My personal favorite is with the regular caramel in it, not the salted. But it's just, if you love chocolate, you have to go there. You can smell chocolate in the air when you're a few blocks away at the wharf. And it's just, for a chocolate lover, you have to stop in.
It's a weird mix in that area, though. You have the Ghirardelli chocolate place right next to Fisherman's Wharf, right next to the piers where the sea lions are.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of weird smells.
On some days, it could be a really interesting mix of smells. Speaking of the sea lions, do you think the sea lions are worth it? Most of the time when the sea lions are out there, they're just laying there.
Do I think it's worth it to stop and look at them?
Go stop and look at the sea lions.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right. I do. And that's why there are always hundreds of people out there just watching these sea lions. Yeah. And when we say sea lions, we don't mean like 10. It's like 50, 60 sea lions all laying on top of each other on these little wooden piers that are kind of lower than the piers everybody else is standing on. But I know it's not their natural habitat, but how often do you see sea lions not in a zoo?
Well, it is kind of their natural habitat.
So,
I mean, they're out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really not... If you don't know about them, it's very unexpected to come around a corner and see all these sea lions just laying there. There's
sea lions here. Yeah, you just got to pause, and it is fascinating the first time, I guess, you watch it, to see a bunch of sea lions. They're definitely more active in the morning. Mm-hmm. They sleep a lot in the afternoons and everything, but it's really fun to go down there, I guess, the first time. After that, you go back there. I don't know.
You have to stop and take a look.
Yeah.
And then you move on.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good point. Well, we are talking San Francisco fun things to do. Know before you goes, all kinds of stuff. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. We're coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here with my co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
You can check us out on the all-new unscaledtravelshow.com. We got a brand new website, and check out our YouTube. We got all the podcasts up there. We're going to have exclusive videos from all of our travels going up on the YouTube under the same call sign. What's the name of our show?
Did you forget the name of our show?
Unscaled Travel Show on YouTube. You can search it out. We appreciate you liking, subscribing, and sharing with all your friends. We're talking about San Francisco. We gave you a lot of good know before you goes. Now we're going to talk about some popular places. We kind of did mention Ghirardelli's chocolate manufacturing down there next to Fisherman's Wharf, which is also a popular place. But first off, we mentioned taking public transit. on the Muni system is pretty easy to do. I think San Francisco gets a bad rap. You know, a lot of people some people say that it's walkable or it's not walkable. What do you feel? I mean, you've been there a number of times.
I feel certain parts of it are walkable. Like it's a big city. So I would not say you're going to walk. It's kind of like New York. If you're wanting to get from one side of a city to another, you're not going to walk it. You're going to take some type of transportation. But the areas that you want to be in are walkable. So I think it depends on how you look at it. I've walked a lot downtown. I've been there for work. We've been there for fun.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of walking, but we have also taken the bus or taken an Uber or a taxi across town to get to, you know, the zoo's the opposite side from Fisherman's Wharf. We've gone to the zoo. So you kind of, yes, it's walkable, but also bear in mind, how much walking do you want to do?
Then it's a good piece of advice. And also the other thing, if I were to mention anything else, with any attractions in a major city, book in advance.
Right.
Get your tickets as early as possible to things, especially something like the first thing we'll mention, Alcatraz.
Right.
Alcatraz Island is famous for the prison that was there, held a lot of the nation's most notorious criminals in that time period. Now it's like a museum and it's popular with ghost tours and things like that, but it books out weeks and sometimes months in advance.
Yeah. I mean, we've tried to go 3 different times that I know of, and every time tickets are already sold out for the entire time we're going to be in San Francisco.
Like, I think we might go back to San Francisco in the fall. We should, if we know, we should go ahead and book tickets now.
Start looking. As soon as you think you're going to be in San Francisco, start looking at tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you make your way, if it's someone's first time to San Francisco, what is the first thing they should probably go see?
Oh my gosh, that's hard because there's so much great stuff.
Yeah.
But I would think most people probably do go down to the pier area and Fisherman's Wharf. There's also the ferry building, which is like the old ferry building, but now it's been turned into a market. So there's all these little stalls with cheese vendors and bread vendors and people selling souvenirs, and I think there's butchers in there and ice cream. It's a nice little place. And then outside of it on the back end is actually where you do get on the ferry to go to Alcatraz or Oakland or across the bay, wherever you want to go. If you're getting on a ferry, that's behind the ferry building. Yeah. So that's one of those things that every time we go, I like to stop in there, see if there's new vendors, try different things. It's just a nice little place, and it's indoors. So if the weather's not great, escape the weather for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The ferry building's a great place to, sometimes if you're down there in the morning, they have coffee stands and different things like that. Great place to grab a coffee, walk along the water, see the bridges.
Yeah.
At least the one bridge. What's the one bridge?
The Bay Bridge?
The Bay Bridge. Excuse me. The Bay Bridge is right there.
Which to me is just as lovely as the Golden Gate. It's just not orange. It's not as popular, but it's still a beautiful bridge. I have tons of photos of the Bay Bridge on my phone.
I'm like, this is good enough.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go to, I mean, I think everyone should at least go see the Golden Gate Bridge. And there's a couple of different locations. Now, it's going to take you if you're riding the bus, it's going to take you some bus transfers, or you're going to hop in an Uber or a taxi or something like that. But there's 2 places. One, Torpedo Wharf, which we have lots of pictures from Torpedo Wharf, which is also by I think Golden Gate Beach.
Yes.
Which you can rent a bike on Golden Gate Beach, and you see people biking around. There's all kinds of bike vendors and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun to do. But there's also Baker Beach. Baker Beach sits on the kind of on the opposite side of that little peninsula where the Golden Gate Bridge is, and it's.
And you have a fun story from Baker Beach.
I don't know about fun. It is different.
Well, this is one of those times I was going to San Francisco for work, and you came with me, and so while I'm working, you decided to go explore.
If you look up Baker Beach, you're probably going to see a lot of famous photos. You see the Golden Gate Bridge kind of rise out of these rocks and boulders that are at the north end of Baker Beach, and it's where a lot of these pictures come from and everything. And it's really cool when the fog is rolling and you can get some incredible shots. It is also a popular nude beach,
which you did not know.
Which you got to research this stuff.
I did not know either.
I did not know. And I went there and I was just, it was kind of a chilly day. And I knew that from the weather, not because of what else transpired. But I was in my jacket. It was the fog was rolling in. I was just walking and I was just enjoying the water to my left as I was heading to the place where the pictures were taken. And then I just, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move. Now, get your mind out of the gutter. I didn't see. Well, okay. Let me back up here. I saw movement out of the corner of my eye. And I look over, and there is a man who is naked. He is without apparel.
Wasn't he in the water? Isn't that
No. He was. There was a beach towel. There was a beach towel laid out. And the thing that is burned into my memory now, unfortunately, is that he was stretching. He was like doing one of those full body stretches.
Where Arms he was up in the air.
Up in the air, reaching for the sun. And he was naked. And he wasn't the only one. Behind him, about 25 feet, were three other people, a man and two guys and a woman. And they were stripping down as well. And it was just, I was like, oh, I didn't know where to look. I wanted to proceed, but I was like, wow.
I don't know if you remember this, but you had taken a selfie of yourself with the bridge in the background, and you had accidentally caught one of these people in the background. Yes. So I don't know that you're here and that you've realized you're on this nude beach. I'm at work, and all of a sudden you send me a photo on my phone, and I was like, oh, that's a great photo of you in the bridge in the background. And you're like, you didn't really look at the background, did you?
Look who's in the background there.
And yeah, if you
say hello to Captain
enlarge
Winky.
The photo, there is a very naked man.
And again, it's a cold day, so you have to look, you gotta really enlarge. But the darndest thing is that at the other end of the beach, there were children running around. They were just, that's what threw me off. I was like, I don't know what the rules are here. I don't know what's going on. It was fun nonetheless, but I got off the beach. I took a quick photo of the bridge. Let me just clarify. And I left. But Baker Beach is a fun place. That probably wasn't a ringing endorsement, but it was a fun place to go visit and go see. Lots of good pictures. So ferry building, Baker Beach, Golden Gate, Torpedoes Wharf. Wow. Alcatraz.
You can't stop thinking about it now.
Now it's burned in my head. Nearby is Golden Gate Park.
Right.
And we'll get into that because it's very large. But also, like the Painted Ladies.
Oh, right.
The Painted Ladies are pretty close to this area. Alamo Square is right there, right across the street. But the Painted Ladies... people from outside or maybe inside the United States as well. You would know that from the show
Full House. Yep.
At the beginning of the show, they show those beautiful Victorian style
They
homes.
make you think all houses in San Francisco look like that. They do not.
Nope.
It's just a little section of houses that are
Another
all painted
lie
fun colors.
That Hollywood sold us. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We are not nude, but we will be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hi.
We are talking about San Francisco, some great know-before-you-go tips, and some wonderful popular places. Big piece of advice, number one, plan ahead. Get your tickets in advance. We are coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. And we were talking about Golden Gate Bridge. Great places to go see it and grab some of those photos that make your friends jealous on the Facebook or the Gram. Or the Tickle Talk. That's a totally different website. Don't search that.
Don't.
But we were talking about Golden Gate Park, which is kind of over. Now we're in the west side of the city, looking at things. Golden Gate Park, I don't know how many people might know this, but Golden Gate Park is actually, by acreage, is bigger than Central Park in New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It is a massive, massive park. It stretches for about 3.5 miles. And where Central Park has about 843 acres in its makeup, Golden Gate Park is over 1,000 acres large.
Okay.
And it has all kinds of stuff.
It does.
A lot of things that we visited. The San Francisco Botanical Gardens.
I love botanical gardens.
The California Academy of Sciences, the DeYoung Museum, a place that we've gone to and have lots of beautiful pictures. The Japanese Tea Garden is a wonderful place to visit. Hippie Hill is kind of a local landmark. People go and chill. It's a hill.
It's a park. You can go just hang out.
Just hang out there. You can honestly probably spend an entire day at Golden Gate Park, much like Central Park. You could probably spend an entire day there. And we've walked through it a couple of times. We mentioned the painted ladies that are famous from the show Full House, and Alamo Square in that area. And I know there is a hippie type neighborhood that is very famous. It's where the 1960s counterculture movement was kind of birthed in the 1960s here in the United States. But you are not too high on this place.
Well, so the area is called Haight-Ashbury, and people always talk about it being this hippie neighborhood. And so I had to go into that neighborhood for work, which sounds crazy, but I have an interesting job. So I was in there in the neighborhood and went to a store and I bought some things. But as I was walking around, it does have a lot of stores. There were a few bars and things like that. But to me, it's really just another kind of like shopping and entertainment district.
Over the years, it's become very touristy.
Yeah, it's very touristy. I mean, a lot of the buildings did have interesting colored paint jobs or things, murals, street art, things like that. But to me, there was nothing very like hippie-ish about it other than, some people's decor in their stores. It's really just a shopping and eatery district now. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to go see it. But I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't get what I was expecting, I would say.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of like famous neighborhoods, and this is not the exception here. I mean, it was famous for counterculture. So many people started going to it that, just over time, gentrification happens.
Right.
And now it is basically a tourist shop that sells you what the neighborhood used to be like.
Right.
In fact, if you walk down to Golden Gate Park, you're walking around there, you'll often see, I know I saw several times, buses that were painted up.
Like tie-dye.
Tie-dye, hippie,
eating,
get on the bus and we'll take you to this famous neighborhood. But once you get there, it's a little bit of a letdown.
Right.
So there are some alternatives, though, if you have some different time and you've hit the highlights and you're looking for a little bit of something that's just a little bit different. You've done the San Francisco Zoo, which is amazing. I say go to it. But like good alternatives are kind of like the Walt Disney Family Museum. There is a Walt Disney Museum that explores the life of Walt Disney and just the creation of Disney World. So if you're a Disney fanatic, I say it's a great place to kind of go by. You can bring the whole family and go see they got a lot of artifacts and like things from his life.
Walt Disney himself,
his early childhood. So there's a lot of things in there that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Interesting.
And if you can't go to Alcatraz, you can still go on a ferry to places like Angel Island. Angel Island is more of a place where you go and relax. If you've rented one of those bikes, you can take your bike on the ferry and go to Angel Island, ride around. There's trails, all kinds of stuff. And it's a great alternative to Alcatraz if you just can't get a ticket, which is...
You just want to get on a ferry and go somewhere.
Oftentimes, which you cannot do. Another place that a lot of people don't go to is where the city started. It's still standing. We talked about that mission earlier. The mission that they built, it's often shortened to Mission Dolores. This is where the city actually was founded. And this thing was, I think, erected in, 1776. It's been around for a while, and now it's a basilica. They have built onto it and everything else. But it's a real working church. So be respectful if you do go there. But it's a great place to see where the city actually, and it's near, it's kind of near downtown.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not that far away anyway. You might want to take an Uber or something like that, but it's Great. And we haven't even gotten into really Chinatown.
No.
Chinatown in San Francisco is one of the great Chinatowns in these major city lores and everything, comparative to NYC and these places.
Yeah.
But
fantastic food.
Fantastic food. There are places where, again, gentrification is kind of started creeping into some areas. You're going to find some tourist shops that sell trinkets and things of that nature, but you can still find a lot of really authentic food, dim sum places. One of the places that is highly recommended, the Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory.
I want to go. We've never gone, and I want to go so bad.
I got to pass by it the last time I was in. I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Nob Hill.
Oh,
just want to
fancy
name and drop.
Fancy.
My friends over at the Ritz-Carlton, they have no idea who I am.
I stayed somewhere you didn't stay.
Where'd you say?
The Westin St. Francis.
The Stank?
Westin St. Francis, which is in Union Square.
Okay, yes.
And I have told you, since I stayed there, I'm positive this place is haunted. I did not know any lore.
Why?
I did not know anything. There's just a feeling. But I just Googled it. I just put Westin St. Francis and then put an H. Haunted automatically filled in. And yes, they actually do ghost tours at the hotel.
I think we have to do this.
It says they are haunted by 3 restless spirits. And I feel validated because I've been saying for years this place was haunted and I had no idea.
I remember you coming back going, this place, there's something wrong with this place.
It is a lovely hotel, but it was just a feeling. You walk in like, yes, there are spirits here. Anyway.
Look, some people are sensitive. Okay, that's what they say. There's some people who are sensitive to the other side, the plane. You are one of them. You're always like ghost right there. We'll be walking down a hotel hallway and you're like, spirits. I saw it. I felt it. Like cold spots follow you around, And I'm like, what is it? And then I'm like, hey, don't stand next to me because I'll be the first one to die in that movie. But look, folks, if you're out there and you're with the tourism place or something, you need a spiritual guide.
Stop it.
Amy Long from the Unscaled Travel Show is your person because she picks up on these things. I think it's really cool. I've gone to, how many ghost tours have I gone on? And
a lot.
I love the paranormal and I never feel anything. I'm just like, okay. Even when we're standing in like dark, places where people have been murdered, Lizzie Borden house.
Oh, I definitely felt something at Lizzie.
Oh, I know you did. Mm-hmm. You were like, ooh.
Yeah.
Which is a great story in itself.
I freaked out, to be honest.
But like, that's pretty exciting. So the Westin.
The Westin St. Francis.
Is a great place.
Yeah.
And it's also a very nice hotel. It
is a nice hotel. It really is. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone from staying there, but it's just one of those places I walked in and I was like, yes, there are ghosts here. I'm okay with it. I'm still going to sleep here, but I know that there's probably going to be a ghost coming through my door tonight.
What were we talking about? Chinatown. There we go. The Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory is great. Another one, the Hangar Tea Room, which was established in 1920. It's called a tea room, but it's not actually a place where you go and like have a tea service. It's actually a dim sum place.
Oh.
I don't know why they call it that, but there you go. It's been around for over 100 years. There's probably definitely ghosts there. But that's a place to go visit. If you actually want tea service, though, the Vital Tea Leaf in Chinatown.
We have to do that.
Is one where you go and have the actual tea service.
Yeah.
And it's a great stop. So some places that you can go to if you've kind of been around San Francisco and you've seen all the highlights. You've climbed the hill up to Twin Peaks to get the beautiful panoramas of
I
the
haven't
cities.
done that, but you did that.
I did that and almost died because I didn't know there were buses that went up to the top of the stupid hills.
So he walked it.
So I walked it on my out-of-shape self. That was a mistake. I got video from the top where I can't stop heavy breathing.
Well, and I would say San Francisco, if you like museums like we do, they have a ton of museums. You've been to the MoMA. We mentioned the De Young.
Palace of Fine Arts.
Yeah, Palace of Fine Arts. There's so many museums. So it's another great place for museum lovers.
Beautiful place. The Unscaled Travel Show. We'll see you guys next time.